good day, Algebra. We are covering PO23, which is a copycat of last year PO32 when we graphed an equation in slope-intercept form. The only thing that's being added onto that now is we're also going to be graphing equations that are given to us in standard form. So sometimes you can look at an equation, if it's in slope-intercept form, you got the slope, you got the y-intercept, you can just graph it. Other times, if it's given to you in standard form first, you have to convert it to slope-intercept form and then use the slope and the y-intercept to graph the line. So this being a key point, these three steps can go in a help sheet, okay? And the three steps are as follows. The first one is actually only if necessary, okay? You only need to do this if your equation is given to you in standard form. You just need to convert it to slope-intercept form, which we just did in PO22. Okay, so if something is given to you in standard form, that conversion to slope-intercept form happens first. And if you need to review that, you can look at what we did yesterday in PO22. Okay. Once you do that, so if you look at everything on this first page here, these are already in slope-intercept form for you. So you don't really have to pay attention to that first step until the second page. So here, you begin by plotting the y-intercept. Okay? You begin by plotting the y-intercept. Think about slope-intercept form. Think about the y-intercept. Why would I use the word begin? Rather than start with or first you, why begin? In slope-intercept form, which variable is the y-intercept?
The last one.
Which is which letter?
B.
B. And the word begin starts with B, right? So you start with that B variable, okay? That is where you begin. You plot that point first, okay? Plot that point first. Once you do that, your second step, your final step to graph it, is you move using the slope. Okay? You move using the slope to get a second point. Because you only need 2 points to graph a line. The first one comes from your y-intercept. The second one comes from using the slope. Why would I I spelled using wrong. U-S-U-I-N-G. That's embarrassing. Okay. Why would I use the word move here? Think of slope-intercept form. Think of the slope. Why would I use the word move? Lauren. Yes, the variable for slope in slope-intercept form is m. Okay. So I thought it was cute. Begin, B, move, M. Very Sesame Street-ish. Okay. And that's it. Right? That's it. So what this is really requiring a knowledge of is what slope-intercept form is and how to get the information from it that you need. I'm going to have to scroll down to do the next section here. So if anyone's still getting notes, finish those up now. Okay, we're good? Anyone still writing? Good? Okay. What are we dropping in the back there?
Water bottle.
If there's water on that floor, again, we may have lost our privilege to have water bottles in the classroom. Graph each equation, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. It might be helpful to write slope-intercept form above it, just to make sure you're getting things in the right spot here. So where we begin is with that b variable, right? That +3. We're going to put a point at +3. Okay. If you need to label your x and your y axis, do it. Okay. That first point has to be on that vertical axis. Okay. It's called the y-intercept because it's on the y-axis. Then our second step, use the slope, we're going to move at a rate of 1/2. Because it's positive, that means we're going up the y-axis. And then which direction do we always go on the x-axis? Yeah. To the right. Right? To the right. So from this point, from this y-intercept point, we're going up 1/2. And that's going to bring us to our next point. And there we have the line. Ta-da! Graph. Okay? Start with that y-intercept point, make that point on the y-axis, then use that slope, right, to get that second point. The second one, y equals -3x plus 5. Where's our first point going to go? Y equals -3x plus 5, yeah. Nope.
Sorry, 5 on the left.
Positive, yep, positive 5 on the y-axis, right? And then sometimes this throws kids off a little bit, that -3, it doesn't look like a fraction, right? And so what do? If the slope isn't written as a fraction, what can we do? Sarah?
Put a line underneath it.
Right, we can make it a fraction. And we do that by putting it over 1. All right? So since it's negative, we're going down the y-axis, 3, but we still go to the right, 1. Okay? We still go to the right 1. So our line would look like this. Our first point of positive 5, and then down 3 over 1. You might notice that our first line is sloping upward from left to right, and our second line is sloping downward from left to right. That's not a coincidence that our positive slope, 1/2, is sloping upward. Our negative slope, -3, is sloping downward. Okay? Slope tells us how the line moves. A negative slope will be a downward sloping line. A positive slope is an upward sloping line. Y equals -4/3 x minus 1. -4/3 x minus 1. Where's our first point going? Sasha?
-1.
-1. On the y-axis, the vertical axis, right there. How are we moving to get our second point? Charlie? Down how far?
4.
4, and then where?
Over 2.
Right or left?
Right.
Good. Down 4, right 3. Right from our y-intercept point. So why we plot that one first. So down 4, right 3, going to be right there. And there we have the line. Okay. Memories from last year, fond memories from last year, PO32. Okay. Hopefully, if you struggled with it last year, hopefully it's a little bit easier this year, just being a year older and having seen it before. Okay. Questions so far? Okay. All right. So some areas where kids have questions. Y equals x plus 2. There's no coefficient to x. What do I do? What's my slope? How would you answer that? Annika.
You put a 1 in front of the x.
Right.
And it's over 1.
That hidden coefficient of 1, okay? And then, I cut you off. What else were you saying?
And then you put it over 1.
Exactly. Yeah, your slope in this case is 1/1. Okay, if there's no coefficient written, it's a 1. And then to put that as a fraction, it'd be 1/1. Right? That's how you would handle that one. What about the one on the next page, the top of the page, at y equals 3/5 x? There's no y-intercept. What do? There's no b. How would you answer that? Sasha?
Does it matter if it's plus or minus?
For the 3/5 x, it does not.
So
What?
it'd be negative or positive 1.
Not negative positive 1, because if you add 1 or subtract 1 from something, you change the value of it. It's a 1 in front of a coefficient, because having an x or 1x, it's the same thing. The value doesn't change. But for the b there, what number, when you add or subtract it, doesn't change the value? 0. Okay? So that would be 3/5 x plus 0. Or if you wanted to write minus 0, it wouldn't matter because subtracting 0 also doesn't change the value. The point is, your y-intercept would be at the origin there, right? At 0, 0. Okay? Questions on slope-intercept form? Graphing from slope-intercept form. Because the bottom 6 here, the next 6, they're all in standard form. So here's where you have to do that step 1 first. If it's given to you in standard form, you first need to convert it to slope-intercept form. So you've got a little bit extra space to write down beneath each of these to make that happen. So I'm gonna, there you go. Rewrite the equation here, 2x minus 3y equals 9. To put this into slope-intercept form, the steps to do this are on PO22. We want to first move our x over to the other side using opposite operations. Okay? So subtract 2x from both sides. Subtract 2x from both sides. We're left with a negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. Remember, we can't combine 9 and minus 2x. You get 7x because the 9 doesn't have an x. And because it's slope-intercept form, we want to put that x term first. Okay? So negative 2x plus 9. What are we then dividing by now to get that y variable by itself? Good, negative 3. Okay? So divide by negative 3. We have to do it to everything. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. And we're left with y equals negative 2 divided by negative 3 doesn't work out evenly. Do we care? No. It's a fraction. It's a slope. What does negative 2 divided by negative 3 simplify to be? Positive 2/3, right? Those negative signs cancel out. So 2/3 x, and then positive 9 divided by negative 3 is a negative 3. So that's the equation that you would then graph. You go to your coordinate plane, plot your y point at negative 3. Your slope is 2/3 up to over 3, and whoops. But there you have your line. So the bottom 6, kind of bringing back PO22 as well. We have to convert to slope-intercept form. Okay. Questions on this? Jacob,
Did you do the top 3?
did we do or can we do?
Yeah.
We have not done the top 3, but we can go over.
Do we need to?
Yes. Yeah, your homework is all of PO23. Okay. The first 9, when it's given to you in slope-intercept form, that should take you fairly little time to do because if you know what you're looking for, right, just pulling it out of the equation, putting it on the graph. These require a little bit of extra work, but yeah, this will be due tomorrow. This will be due tomorrow. Okay, for those that have not graphed in slope-intercept form before, specifically talking to you folks, what questions do you have? Yeah.
If we do distance learning, how will we do it?
Distance learning, I don't know how you'll turn it in, whether it'll be just show it to me when you come back or send me a picture, or I'm not quite sure on that yet. But plan on, hopefully we'll be in school tomorrow, so have it done. But if not, then I don't know, we'll cross that bridge. Okay.
So I would send you a picture, but my camera isn't saving the photos I take.
On your computer or your
My
phone
computer.
camera?
It's my computer.
You can use a phone.
I don't have your email or whatever. On my phone.
You can email it to yourself and then email it to me. That you could.
They don't let you email anyone outside the school.
You can email teachers. You sent me stuff on your student account.
Yeah, on the student account. But
Yeah. So you can email. You could email it to your parents. Have the parents send it to me. You're pretty technological. You can figure out the way around the Wi-Fi blockages and the firewalls, and you can figure out a way to email me a picture. I'm pretty sure. You are technologically savvy.
What if I don't want to?
Well, that's another issue. Not wanting to is a different thing than not being able to.
she could email
So.
you from a phone.
Yes, like I said, there are ways to do it. There are ways to do it. So, okay. Plan on having this done in school tomorrow, but we'll see where life takes us. Other questions, comments, concerns, complaints? All right, folks, that's all you math. Don't forget to like and subscribe.